Hi, I'm Chef Steve. Welcome to the Care Kitchen, where we cook with kindness. This program is brought to you by Comfort Care and At Your Side. Comfort Care and At Your Side provides personal care for people throughout the United States and Canada. I'm here with our program here in the Care Kitchen every Thursday at 1 p.m. Eastern, where we feature recipes from the Care Kitchen cookbook and also have some fun with food and experiment. And today we're going to be doing something that's seasonal, getting ready for the Jewish holiday that's coming up in December, Hanukkah, and the traditional food for that holiday is latkes. So the program today is called Luscious Latkes, and I'm going to make several different varieties. So this is really a fun thing to do, and it's a fun activity that you can share with the person that you're caring for, or your family, yourself, your friends. Have a party, have a latke party. It's a lot of fun. So I'm going to get started with first a traditional potato latke, and I've got some different shortcuts and different things that we can do to make this recipe simpler and a lot more fun to put together. So I'm going to get started. So the first thing we've got to do here is I've got a large potato, and I'm going to peel it. So that's the first thing I'm going to do, and I'm going to peel this potato, and then I'm going to grate it. And I'm going to grate it by hand with a box grater, which I have sitting right here. A handy tool to have in the kitchen, and it's just a nice thing, standard. Everybody remembers a box grater from growing up and watching mom cook in the kitchen. And it was one of those hand tools that everybody used back in the day. And now we bring it out for certain recipes, and I use it all the time for all kinds of things. We're actually going to grate our potato for this recipe, and we're going to grate some onions. So get this potato peeled. And you know, the Jewish holiday of Hanukkah is celebrated for 8 days, and each night a candle is lit. It's the celebration of lights. A candle is lit to commemorate the everlasting light at the temple in Jerusalem, where a little bit of the holy oil lasted for the whole 8 days. So that's the miracle. So that's one of the reasons why oil is an important part of this. So that's the whole thing. Fried foods on Hanukkah, and latkes being one of the favorites. So we're going to fry these up on a griddle, and I've got that heating up right over here. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to grate this potato. So this is a fairly simple process. I do it on the cutting board here, so I'm containing everything. And I use the large side of this because I find that gives me the size that I want. So this is, this potato pancake is made from a raw shredded potatoes, some shredded onion, a little bit of flour, and I'll show you that in a minute, an egg, some salt and pepper, and gets fried up. So we've got our potato here grating, and I don't really need to grate the whole thing to show you this, so I'm going to put this aside for a minute, and we'll see what we've got here under the grater, and we can put it right in our bowl. So I've got the potato grated here. I'm going to go ahead and grate a little bit more of it while we're going, and then we'll get started on the rest of the recipe. This is really the hardest part of the recipe. It's the most, takes the most, I guess, energy. So we get a little bit of exercise here. Grating a potato. Okay, not much in the way of exercise, but we get our potato grated. Okay, so we've got the potato grated, and we're going to pop that in our bowl, this grated potato. And I've got an onion here. I'm just going to cut this onion in half, and I'm going to grate some onion, and we're going to put that in with the potato. Onion grated. And we're going to use the onion in our other recipes. So today we're going to make a traditional potato latke, which is what I'm working on now. And then we're going to do a zucchini latke. And then we're going to do a mixed vegetable. It's going to be broccoli and carrot latke. I'll show you that. And what I use to make it is a little bit of a shortcut. Okay, so we've got some grated onion here. Make sure we get everything out of our grater. Use my little handy spatula to pick it up. Okay, so we've got onions and we've got potatoes in there. And the next thing we're going to do is we're going to put in some flour. Now, what I use for this, because typically you would put flour, baking powder, and baking powder in there. So what I use is a baking mix. And I just take a quarter cup of this, throw it in. And a baking mix is like a Bisquick or other type of generic baking mix that basically is flour, baking powder, and baking soda. So it cuts down one step of the process. So I've got that in there. We're going to put some salt in. And we're going to put some pepper. And I like to put a little bit of parsley in there just for a little bit of color. And also it adds some good nutrition. Of course, parsley is in the green leafy vegetable category, which has all of the good nutrition. Okay, so we've got our potato, onion, parsley, our flour mix in there, and we need an egg. So we're going to put one egg in here. Just grab something so we keep our area as clean as possible. Okay, we've got our egg put in there now. And we're going to mix this up. And again, this is the kind of thing, you can make a small batch. You don't have to make a lot. You just make it to order. It's a fun thing to put together. It's a fun thing to work with somebody while you're doing this. They can throw things in, mix it up, however you want to do it. It works great. Okay, so that is our mix for our potato latke. And that's ready to go to fry up. So we're going to put that aside for a minute. Okay, put that aside. And we'll move on to our next recipe, which is a zucchini latke. And basically, we're going to do something very similar. We're going to, instead of grating the potato, in this case, we're going to grate our zucchini. So this zucchini is ready to go, washed and ready to go. We'll get our grater back out here, and we'll start grating our zucchini. And we'll get this going. And then we're going to mix some onion in with this and our flour mixture and egg. And then we'll have our zucchini ready to go. And a little bit of a secret ingredient that I put in to make sure that it stays together well. Let's see what we've got so far. Okay, we'll do a little bit more grated zucchini. Okay. Main thing in using a grater is make sure you don't get your knuckles caught in the while you're doing it. That's a little tip so you don't get cut with the grater. Okay, so we've got our zucchini grated. Now we're going to grate some onion. A little more onion in there with our zucchini. Okay, we've got some onion grated. Now we'll pop that in with our zucchini. Okay, and now to this, we are going to put in our baking mix, our flour, baking powder, baking soda mix. And we're also going to put in here just a little bit of potato starch. Potato starch is like a potato flour, and it helps to create structure when we're doing this, and add a little bit of starch so it holds together well. So we'll just put in a little bit of potato starch, and we'll put an egg in here. Okay, we've got our egg in. Okay, we need some salt and pepper. Salt and pepper. Okay, and we've got that mixed up. All right, so let's get this mixed, and this one will be ready as well to make our zucchini latkes. And you know, latkes, pancakes, it's a similar kind of thing. It's just that for the holiday and the ethnic food, we call them latkes. Okay, so we got our zucchini ready. Okay, now our next one that we're going to do, and I really like this one. This is, I use broccoli slaw for this. This is broccoli shredded, carrots shredded, and red cabbage shredded. And what I've done is I've sauteed this in some olive oil and put some seasoning in here, so it's a little bit softened, so when we go to make it in our pancakes, it will cook properly. So I needed to sort of pre-cook this before we put it in the mix. So we're going to put some of this in here. Okay, that's some of our slaw. And we're going to put our flour mixture in. Okay, and we're going to put our egg in. Okay, we've got our egg, got our flour, we've got our broccoli slaw mixture in there. And we're going to put a little bit of potato starch in here too, just to make sure it holds together. Get this mixed up. And we'll get ready and start frying these up, because we have everything ready to go. Okay, so we've got our broccoli, cabbage, carrot latke batter ready to go. Okay, so we've got everything ready. We're going to start off with our straight potato latke, and we're going to fry it up. Okay, so let me get this area cleaned up just a little bit, and then we'll pull our griddle a little closer so you can see what I'm doing, and we'll get this started. And like I always like to do is clean as I go, so it's not so much at the end to clean up your mess, which is, I think, a very important element of cooking. And it also helps to keep you organized, especially when you have multiple things going on like I have here. Okay. All right, so now we're going to just pull our griddle a little bit closer over here, and we'll get started doing some cooking. Okay, get my little spatula. All right. Okay, so first thing we're going to do is we're going to put some oil down. I like to use olive oil, things that's from a health standpoint, and I like a little bit of the flavor of it as well. So we'll get a nice bit of olive oil on our griddle. Spread it around just a little bit. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is make a standard potato latke. So I've got my scoop here. Put that right on the griddle. And we'll get 2 of these latkes going. You know, we've got, that's nice. Okay, so we've got our standard potato latkes going on the griddle. And we'll just let those cook a little bit. And in the meantime, I've got my zucchini ready to go. Now this looks a little bit liquidy, so this is a perfect example where we could add a little bit more flour. We could add breadcrumbs. We can add any kind of thing to sop it up, so we want it to hold together. So I'm just going to put a little more of our flour mix in there, because what happened here is, depending on the water content in the vegetable, in this case zucchini, there was a fair amount of liquid, so it came out when we grated it and broke it down. So we need to put a little more flour in to bind it. So you see, as I pull it together, now it's coming into something that's going to hold its shape better. Okay, so let me get this on the griddle as well. Get 2 of these going, and we'll cook these up first, and then we'll do our last mixture, which is our broccoli, cabbage, and carrot latke. Okay, so we're going to let these cook a little bit. I'll flip them, and then we'll be back and we'll do our other latkes. Okay, so I'm flipping these latkes now. Got it on the first side. And you see that's nice brown. And we're going to just let these other ones cook a little bit more. They're not quite ready. You can kind of tell if you look around the edges, and it looks kind of cooked around the edges, that it's ready to flip, but it won't hurt it. And again, you don't want to do this on a really high heat. You want to be around medium heat so you can have some control over your griddle. And as we go here, we're going to plate these right up. Okay, so let's see how our zucchini is doing, holding together. Looks good. Okay, we got our zucchini latkes going. Now, you know, this is a perfect example of a food and a dish that everybody has their own version. Every family has their own version. Every, we call it a latke, you call it a pancake, whatever you want to call it. There's a similar kind of dish in almost every cuisine all over the world. And, you know, in the Chinese restaurant, you'll see something called a scallion pancake, for instance. That's similar to this. So there are many, many versions of this kind of thing, depending on what your background is, what your family recipe is, what part of the world you're from. So, you know, there's a lot going on here. Okay, so we're almost ready to remove these. We'll just take a look here, and they just need a little bit more time cooking. So we'll just give them a little more time. Okay, so we're ready to take our latkes off of the griddle. So let me get a couple of plates here, and we will serve these up. Okay, so these are my traditional potato, and these are my zucchini. Okay, we'll put those aside for a minute, and then we will get our broccoli, carrot, and cabbage latke going here. Okay, so let's put a little bit more oil on our griddle for these. Okay. I always remember as a kid growing up, and my mother and grandmother would make these latkes all the time. And I just really always looked forward to the holiday and these great recipes. And this was one that I always really liked. My grandmother and mother would get together in the kitchen, and holiday time, and they would make these dishes. So it was always something great to look forward to. Okay, so while those are cooking, I've got my potato and zucchini latkes here. So the typical serving suggestion is sour cream and applesauce. So that is what we're going to do. We're going to put some sour cream on a plate and some applesauce on the plate. Okay. So traditionally, I would just serve a dollop of sour cream, and a little bit of applesauce. I have these little cups that we use, which is kind of a great little thing for a snack, a little side. Okay, and then we'll put a little applesauce right on the other side of the plate there. Okay, so this is our potato, and this is our zucchini. Okay, so while these are cooking, I think I should taste these. Okay, so let me start off with the potato first. Cuts nice. A little bit of sour cream on there. Really good. Potatoes are nicely cooked. It has like a creamy flavor to it, and a really good flavor. And of course, the sour cream is so good. Let's try the zucchini. Okay. Really good. Has a nice flavor of the zucchini, and it gives just a real creaminess. That's the best I can say to describe it. It's a really nice flavor. It would go well with just about anything. I mean, you could serve this on its own. You could serve this with meat. You could serve it as an appetizer. You could have it for breakfast, lunch, or dinner, really. It's really good. Okay, so let's see how these are coming along. Now, these look great. Got a nice brown on them. And put these aside. And I'm going to enjoy that for lunch. Grab another plate here, and we'll get ready to plate up our final latkes for today. So, I really enjoy doing this and being with you and having so much fun with cooking. Cooking is a great way to engage. It's a great way to establish relationships with people. It's a great way to, understand somebody, young and old, different countries. Everybody eats, everybody cooks, and it's a really great place to come together and engage. Conversation, reminiscence, all the memories and everything surrounded, especially this season coming now around the holidays. Cooking, it's so much fun. Everybody gets together. There's family recipes. There's all kinds of great gift giving around cooking and food. So it really gives us a lot of opportunity. So let's see. These look like they're just about ready to go. And we will enjoy that. I just want to remind you, this program is brought to you by Comfort Care and At Your Side. And we're here every Thursday at 1 p.m. Eastern with our program, Care Kitchen, where we cook with kindness. And then all the shows are then posted on our YouTube channel. So visit the Comfort Care YouTube channel for all the past episodes, and everything is up there. So, I encourage you to comment, share. What are you doing this season? What kind of family recipes? What are your favorites? I'd love to know. Well, these are just about ready. So let's give it a try. Okay. All right. And again, I'm going to serve this with a little bit of sour cream and a little bit of applesauce. Okay. There's our broccoli, carrot, and cabbage latkes. Let's give it a try. Cuts beautifully. That is outstanding. Really delicious. Well, I love all these flavors. It's so much fun. It's great to have all these different varieties. I encourage you to have fun with cooking. Remember, the most important ingredient is kindness. It's a great pleasure for me to be here with you again. I'm here every Thursday at 1 p.m. Eastern here in the Care Kitchen. I'm Chef Steve. It's been a pleasure to be with you. I'm going to sign off for now, but I'll see you again next week. Thanks for spending time with me.